As Christians, one way we demonstrate our love for God is by serving others in His name. True service in the kingdom is so much more than singing in the songsters and teaching Sunday school. Just as Jesus spread the gospel through service in many countries, we should also seek to serve others across the globe, and as a result, we will be serving God. The Salvation Army USA Central Territory has missionaries around the world who are serving others in Jesus' name and working to advance the kingdom. While the work of the missionaries can be extremely rewarding, there can also be difficulties. There is the challenge of being miles away from family and friends, the struggle of working in a country where they may not speak the primary language, and the stress of having too much to do and not enough hands to help. There are also financial adversities, as oftentimes there are not enough funds to sufficiently cover the cost of the core programs, the utility bills, or other needs. In many cases, missionaries draw down from their own modest bank accounts to help cover the expenses of the Corps. Here at home, we often pray for these comrades, but we don't always realize how important our World Service contributions are to the ongoing work of the Salvation Army overseas, including the work of our own missionaries. Deuteronomy 11:13 tells us to faithfully love the Lord your God and to serve Him with all your heart and all your soul. For some, this may mean serving overseas long-term as missionaries, but many of us are called to live and serve the Lord faithfully in our own Corps and our own communities here in the United States. God may lead you to use specific talents and gifts He has given you to spread awareness about the needs of those who are less fortunate around the world. Or you may reach out to your lonely neighbor who needs to know about the love and forgiveness found in Jesus. God may also be leading you to serve Him through your financial giving. Maybe it's time for us to make ourselves financially uncomfortable by giving sacrificially, so some of the discomfort of those living and serving overseas can be alleviated. Serving through giving is one way to personally serve mankind around the world while not even leaving home. As we serve God and our fellow brothers through our financial giving, we act out Jesus' commandment to love one another. Through His own life, Jesus gave us a perfect model of loving others through humble service. John 13 says, "Just before the Passover feast, Jesus knew that the time had come to leave this world to go to the Father. Having loved His dear companions, He continued to love them right to the end. It was supper time. Jesus got up from the supper table, set aside His robe, and put on an apron. Then He poured water into a basin and began to wash the feet of the disciples, drying them with His apron. Then He said, 'Do you understand what I have done to you? You address me as teacher and master, and rightly so. That is what I am. So if I, the master and teacher, washed your feet, you must now wash each other's feet. I've laid down a pattern for you. What I've done, you do. I'm only pointing out the obvious. A servant is not ranked above his master. An employee doesn't give orders to the employer. If you understand what I'm telling you, act like it and live a blessed life.'" Love cannot remain by itself. It has no meaning. Love has to be put into action, and that action is service. John 15, Jesus says, "As the Father has loved me, so have I loved you. Now remain in my love. If you obey my commands, you will remain in my love, just as I have obeyed my Father's commands and remain in His love. I've told you this so that my joy may be in you and that your joy may be complete. My command is this: love each other as I have loved you. If each month, in self-denial, you loved and served others by giving up the cost of going out to dinner and a movie, missionaries around the world would have the resources to serve those in need and help bring joy to many people. If anyone wants to be first, he must be the very last and the servant of all.